Welcome to Universal Crypto News, where we cover stories that affect the crypto and DeFi markets. From major headlines to DeFi rumors, we cover as much as we can to try and keep up with this dynamic space. As usual, there's a bunch of news, so quick disclaimer before we get right into it. This is not financial advice, and we are not financial advisor. This content is presented for educational and entertainment purposes. Please do your own research before making any investment choices. Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Doing great. I mean, it's almost evening for me, but I am excited to
Oh,
cover the news. It's basically supper time, and as Adamus has already proudly announced to us, he's eating pizza, even though it's like 1 in the morning
you've
over
always done
there.
this in the past, in the
I
morning,
I've lit
noon
I've
here.
literally I've just finished now. I was trying to get away with it. I was gonna be like, hi. But yes, I finished my pizza. It's only 10 o'clock at night here. It's not too late.
Okay,
It's 12 noon, so it's not morning anymore, technically here. I can't even say it.
yeah, no, it's
Good
it's
evening, everybody.
yeah, it's nice. It's been a
Evening version of the
big
news.
It's a big it's been a big week in the market. That's for sure. I mean, I'm excited to talk about it and
Yeah, there's a ton of FTX, but there's still a lot of other news, so it's not just completely that. So, but we can get right into it. The federal meeting minutes, came out. There was talk about it, the expectation being 50 points and them slowing down. Did you guys read that?
yeah, I was reading that, and that kind of caused the little bit of the reversal in the market.
Yeah, the markets reacted positively to this.
Yeah,
It's the strongest day since the last show.
yeah. I mean, it's had a pretty strong day. It had a big effect, and I mean, I'm hoping we continue to see some strong days, but I'm not convinced. We're still struggling at these pretty low levels, and I think contagion from FTX is still not done. So I'm keeping my ears to the ground and eyes wide open just to see if something might change. But yeah, I
Well, yeah,
mean,
there's still a lot of fear at the moment, isn't there? So the grey fee, greed and fear index is so far into the fear right now, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, I haven't checked the fear and greed index this week, but I I can guarantee you it's 22 right now. It's an extreme fear. So
Yeah.
um the last 7 days it
Wonder how
hasn't
low wonder how low it got.
in the last 7 days it hasn't been above 24, and in the last month it actually didn't dip as low as I thought it would be. In the last month it's the lowest it's been is 20. So um that's actually just kind of surprising. It kind of makes me feel like the market's getting a little bit more immune uh to these market conditions. I mean, right before the FTX crash, we were at a 40, and we came down to a 22 to 21, 22, which is I mean, it's low, but
Yeah.
thinking
Well, you got to
back,
think now. What's got to happen now to get it lower? Like, what can happen and what has to happen for it to go lower than 20?
At
It's
30
got to be
peg?
something insane.
yeah, because I mean, the last time the lowest it's been this year was an 8 on May 17th, 2022. And it stayed below the like in that low level, so below this level from like early May through early July to like July 4th. So like even late into July. So like the fact that we haven't dipped back down to those May through like the summer lows essentially is kind of surprising. I definitely thought that there was more fear in the market um, during this period than then, but it's very clear that I'm wrong. And maybe the market's a little bit stronger than what we thought.
Yeah, all the weak hands are pretty much shaken out now.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like
They're still, yeah, hopefully anyway. I mean, we'll see.
yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
there's
like
still gonna be more dominoes to fall, and I mean there still could be quote unquote black swan events. You know what I mean? Like kind of like
Oh, no, exactly.
more fallout from FTX. Who knows?
I think
If it.
contagion is our biggest barrier right now. Um, I think the barrier is just what's gonna happen with Genesis is still like kind of really up in the air, um, and how that might affect the market, and then what the FTX hacker has been doing that really kind of worried the market. So uh, it's interesting. I macro like I feel like the macro picture in terms of the economy isn't great, but the macro picture in crypto, like I'm having a hard time seeing lower. So that's kind of something to keep our eye on.
I mean, there was one thing pops up. I don't know if it's in your list of news articles, Peter, but there was something I saw again from all the greatest resources ever. Reddit was going on about a Bitcoin account that's linked to MT Gox, and they've moved a load of money, about 165 million. Did you guys hear about that?
Didn't see that one.
I had heard
Yeah, it was
about
just
that.
something. Did you hear about? Yeah, I haven't really gone into it myself yet. It's just something that it popped up and was out and about.
Yeah, but
So
there's always a bit of
there's always
smoke
some.
about when that bomb is going to hit
Yeah,
the market. But I've also heard read some articles. It's like it's not that much. It's not going to kill it or anything like that.
yeah, and it'll be in sort of not tranches, but it'll sort of flow out. It won't just be one big hit as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
because it's all going since it's going to individual investors. Some individual investors might just choose to hold on to it too. So it's
exactly.
it's kind of one of those things
I'm
where
not sure if it's like a liquidation for the larger organization and they have to sell it. I'm not sure the details, but yeah, one of the articles I did read was like even if it's all sold, it'll be a blip in the long run.
Yeah, exactly.
But
And
speaking
these
of
are
it,
people that originally invested years and years ago. So these people are going
well,
to be more
years ago,
maxi.
speaking of MT Gox and the FTX, it's just a couple of that fall in line with the not your keys, not your crypto. But CZ and Michael Saylor are calling for self-custody of crypto assets due to risks of centralized exchange. Even Vitalik Buterin believes that the collapse of XTS can serve as a lesson for the entire cryptocurrency industry. Centralized companies should be suspicious by default. And then this little factoid: users withdrew over $20 billion from central exchanges after the FTX crash. So maybe people learning this lesson a little bit about self-custody.
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's
I
again that's the whole point of Bitcoin. Like really.
yeah.
Bitcoin came out smelling like a rose in a way. I heard Kathy Wood say it like that. It's kind of an interesting way to phrase it.
Yeah. There's always two sides to the story, isn't there?
This is the last kind of the headlines before, and we can get into the details. There's lots of them, FTX and stuff. But Donald Trump now is going to run for president. There was some rumors floating around kind of crypto Twitter that he changed his stance on Bitcoin, and his initial stance was kind of it's just not good for America. So he was just not down. So maybe that'll be interesting to see what happens with that. And then Donald Trump wins Elon Musk's Twitter poll to be reinstated on the platform, and he was unsuspended, although he hasn't tweeted yet. Interestingly enough. Surprising.
Biden is time.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, building the suspense. But maybe his account's just growing, so it's like, why not wait for it to grow? I don't
Insane.
know. Yeah. Anyway, you guys want to get into all the FTX updates? Run
Let's
this
do it.
down.
Let's. I mean,
Yeah.
there's still the biggest
We,
piece of news, I think. So
Oh, go ahead. You want to shout it out? You can go with that.
no, I'll let you roll. You're our
All right.
magical host. So
So this is kind of just the updates for FTX since last week. So on 11/12, I'll just start there, but I won't keep saying the dates. FTX owed $9 billion in liabilities while holding under $1 billion in assets prior to its bankruptcy filing. Then another report came out. Alameda Research purchased crypto tokens before they listed them on FTX, which just makes me wonder, how are they broke if they had like this advantageous deals going all the time? It's like, oh yeah, they probably just stole it.
Yeah, I think it's
This one came out. U.S. authorities are discussing bringing Sam Bankman-Fried to the United States for questioning. This was an interesting one. The SEC tried to look into FTX earlier this year, but 8 members of Congress, quote unquote blockchain 8, wrote to the SEC chair Gary Gensler in March telling him to back off. 5 of the 8 members received campaign donations from FTX. And that was kind of an interesting story. And then we know that FTX SBF, sorry, Sam Bankman-Fried gave 39 million. And also, if you include Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX executives, they donated 70 million to U.S. politicians. So that was going on. This was an interesting little hot take. So yeah, there's a possibility that if Sam Bankman-Fried is held accountable, he will certainly give out compromising information on Tether, Bitfinex, and Binance.
See,
That's kind of a gossipy story, but
yeah,
I thought
to me that's gossipy. That's really, I think that's like people who are scared are adding, like, are trying to find more reasons to be scared, essentially. Like
yeah.
Tether has already released, like, Tether was sketchy for several years because their collateralization looked really weird. Because it used corporate loans, which are harder to cash, like to basically call on as necessary. But now, um, now that they've come out with their collateralization numbers, like there isn't real, and they're considered up to snuff, at least from what I've read from many people. Like there isn't.
Drew Roofer was fudding them, Tether and their audits and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean,
And
part of
saying, he
the
was saying like with his investments, he's avoiding USDT pairs as much as possible, or USDT pairs in his trading just to avoid
I know there's some
exposure.
people that are still doing that, but because like some people
Just
still are afraid of like that old story. But
yeah.
I used to be more skeptical than I am. I think, yeah, you can never be too careful with stable coins. We've seen what happened with UST, um, and stuff. But I mean, I think,
Well, we've also seen like a lot of where there's smoke, there was actually fire later on come out
yeah,
and look it. So you don't want to. I don't know.
it's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard
Yeah.
to really figure out exactly
What's going on? Yeah.
yeah, what's going on.
There was one thing that did come out about Tether, which was just an actual fact, so it's less, speculation. The market capitalization of USDT dropped by 4 billion to about 65 billion. So people moving away from it a little bit, it seems like.
Yeah, but I'm this might sound bad, but that sounds just like that's FTX money. That's
Yeah.
literally that's all that happened. Is that money that was in FTX that for like they were liable for 9 billion.
Yeah.
They had a crazy amount of customer funds. I wouldn't be surprised if that entire, or if not that entire, but a good portion of that 4 billion is from FTX itself. Just and the trades that Alameda Research were doing. That wouldn't surprise me.
Well, let's keep rolling through the FTX headlines. There's a bunch, so that little hot take got us going there. But bankruptcy filings of FTX showed complete failure of corporate controls. New CEO declared that in his 40 years of legal and restructuring experience, he has never seen such a complete failure of corporate controls and such a complete absence of trustworthy financial information as occurred here. End quote.
Yeah, well, a lot of people said like basically there was no accountant. They didn't have an accounting team. There was basically a slush pool of money for the Alameda Research, FTX, and the couple of the other ventures that they had, and no one really knew how much was really in there and where it belonged to what.
Yeah,
It was
this is
just a
it.
slush
There was no
pool.
organization. Yeah, like you say, there was no accountant. It was just party time. Load of people giving too much power and too much money, and just playing, like juggling with that money. Like it was just silly. It's crazy. It's we've seen this story a load of times in different sort of companies, like similar to WeWork, like just juggling numbers, just telling people what they want to hear, not doing the work behind the scenes,
Very
and then
Machiavellian. Like, I'm a giver,
yeah, yeah,
donating. I'm going to give you
giving
a
it, yeah,
billion next year. I'm going to give you even more.
yeah, giving it all the party, keeping everyone happy, and it's not actually doing any of the work. Whereas if they actually did the work and it did everything, all right, it might not have been as um a good sort of good sell to give out to everyone, but then they would have made money. Like it's just crazy. Like
Well, just as
it
examples
happens a lot
of
with these unicorn businesses. Like
as an example of the hanky panky, here's some more headlines. FTX used company funds to purchase luxurious homes in the Bahamas. FTX hedge fund Alameda provided Sam Bankman-Fried with a $3.3 billion loan. Court filings reveal Sam Bankman-Fried personally took 300 million out of the 420 million raised in the FTX funding round in 2021. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Then there's some stuff out of the Bahamas. Bahamas Security Exchange Commission says they have taken full control of XCX digital assets. FTX used company funds to. Oh no, I already read that one. Let's see. Sam Bankman-Fried's lawyer, Paul Weiss, dropped him as a client. So
yeah,
he's a new lawyer. The FTX hacker, which some people are saying is the Bahamas government, has
It
converted
is the
25,000
it is
ETH
the
worth. Right.
Bahamian government because
Yeah, I just want to say it
just
with too much, like it's a fact. I have heard that though. Yeah.
but well because they said they claim to be in complete control of all their remaining digital assets.
Uh,
So uh, in my mind, it suggests that the money that they're holding, what like what's being held on the blockchain, the um all the ETH and the Bitcoin that they're holding it's all being held by the Bahamian government. Like,
Whatever assets are actually there.
yeah, they're the only ones they're the only assets that were left of FTX, really, other than
Well,
these
it looks like
luxury homes.
this hacker is taking ETH and converting it into Bitcoin.
Yeah, it caused a major dump in the market. It really
Uh,
did.
on
Um,
1120, there's a couple of stories about that. Selling 25,000 ETH worth 30 million and 15,000 ETH worth 16 million. I thought I read something about Ren Bitcoin, but I'm not sure if that was an earlier story or this one.
no, it was they were using Ren Bitcoin. I don't fully know what Ren Bitcoin was, but it's
Some kind of Bitcoin.
yeah, they were doing it, and they were getting terrible slippage too. From my understanding, they were losing.
Yeah, this is probably record usage for that thing. I'm Ren Bitcoin. I don't know how much it gets used, but
It's an interoperability, like it's basically allows the movement of like assets between between blockchains.
yeah, fake Bitcoin.
It's basically like it's pegged to the price of Bitcoin. So
Yeah, no, yeah. Like, how strong is that peg? I don't know. I'd have to look into it. Um, let's see. 1121. Sam Bankman-Fried parents purchased 19 properties worth 120 million in the Bahamas over the past 2 years. No coincidence.
yeah,
FTX founder.
no coincidence there at all.
FTX founder. I'm not implying anything. It's just a fact. FTX founder SBF will testify in front of the U.S. Senate in December. FTX owes 3.1 billion to the top 50 creditors.
Wow.
that's a lot of billions. So, but if they owed a total of 9 billion, then it's likely. I mean, for
10 billion
yeah,
thrown around.
for people with funds on the exchange, if there was really 5.9 billion on exchange, I'd be like, that's nuts to think about, and I feel bad for for anyone that was holding because they've only got $1 billion in assets, at least that we know of. So
Well, this is kind of the final
Again,
piece that came out
not your
about
key.
what was that, Adamus?
If yeah, sorry, it's just about having access to your keys, isn't it? Like, just keep it all to yourself. Like, don't trust
do it.
exchanges. And,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
just
got
don't do it.
this is the last kind of interesting story. It's from 11/24. Sam Bankman-Fried will speaking. He's scheduled to speak at the New York Times conference on November 30th. Crypto users are furious. How has he not been arrested? So we'll see if that actually happens. That was interesting. And then I had kind of like a section of how Binance has reacted to this because they kind of set it off. So earlier in the week, Binance to launch the Industry Recovery Fund to assist big projects in liquidity. Binance commits 1 billion to assist in liquidity crisis, then upped it to 2 billion. Let's see. Oh, I had more information about that, but I don't know where I put it. Anyway, but there are a bunch of companies. Oh, I have it here. There are a bunch of other companies like investing with him. This thought it's kind of interesting. It's not just Binance. Aptos Labs, Jump Crypto, VC firms, Polygon Ventures, Am Animoca Brands, just a bunch of kind of big
Okay, yeah.
VC firms. Yeah. GSR, Kronos, and Brooker Group.
And these
But
are all the companies that have come out on top out of all this debacle, haven't they? Just how they approach things and everything.
yeah, they're going to
They
be
really
used
come
to
from
buy distressed assets and support the industry. And I think the key, but they're trying to buy distressed assets,
Yeah,
get a good
so they're
deal.
not gonna bail out something like Genesis, like that we're gonna talk about
No.
in the
Yeah, yeah, we can jump right into all
into the
that.
contagion file. But
Yeah, the contagion. This is another reaction from Binance. Binance CEO thinks Sam Bankman-Fried lied to staff, shareholders, regulations, and users. They just lied to everybody, but that he thinks the overall crypto industry is fine. It's going to be okay. He's a believer. But anyway, that was kind of his general reaction. Yeah, then we have a bunch of contagion stories we can get into. Hong Kong-based crypto exchange AX suspends all operations, citing system upgrades, but sentiment is connected to FTX. Miners reportedly have again started to massively sell BTC on the market amid the FTX collapse. So more selling from miners was happening last week. It's estimated between 25 and 40% of crypto hedge funds had some exposure to FTX. The number of funds that got hit by the FTX crisis are just starting to come to light. Funds lost between $1 billion and $5 billion.
if they
Big
lost
numbers.
$5 billion, then that's like, oh, that's significant. I mean, we're it depends on just how many firms there are. If it's 5 billion, if it's spread out across enough firms, then we like it might not be so bad. And but it could, if it's spread on a small number of firms, then what could happen is we could see some major sell-offs in some of the other assets that they hold to boost their liquidity position.
Right, right. No, that makes sense. But that's sometimes that's kind of what killed Yield Nodes. They couldn't sell anything. So
Yeah,
if we're holding stuff they can't sell, they might be in trouble. Yeah.
yeah, it likely depends. It depends how old these hedge funds are. Some of the hedge funds are
Yeah, they seem safer.
yeah, some of them could be like, if they invested in Matic at launch, like in their ICO a few years ago, then they're in a fine position. But if you bought some little gaming coin um, at ICO during the bull market last year, then yeah, they could be pretty deep underwater. So
Well,
it'll
a
be
couple
interesting.
other exchanges or platforms going down. Liquid Exchange, previously acquired by FTX, suspended withdrawals. The dreaded suspended withdrawals. Crypto lending platform Vauld, VAULD, has $10 million stuck on FTX accounts that they can get out. Then we get into BlockFi. Crypto owner BlockFi is preparing for imminent bankruptcy. That was on 11/16, 11/21. Crypto lender BlockFi took a $250 million loan in FTX's native token FTT. So that was, I guess, the source of this bankruptcy, or a big part of it that came out in the filings. Then you were talking about Genesis. Genesis 2.8 billion crypto lending unit halts withdrawal, citing FTX collapse. They seek 1 billion in emergency loan by Monday. That was
last week, and
Yeah, crypto.
they didn't get any of it.
Right. To date, they haven't. They warned of bankruptcy without new funding. Binance turned down a request to invest. I- Genesis has 2.8 billion in outstanding loans. Genesis owned by Barry Silbert's Digital Currency Group, DCG, a huge crypto conglomerate that owns a slew of other companies, including CoinDesk, Grayscale, which is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Let's see. One of Genesis' biggest customers was Three Arrows Capital, who they lent 2.4 billion. After Three Arrows Capital blew up in May, they assumed a $1.2 billion in liabilities to keep the hit off the books. But anyway, they just got hit twice, it looks like. Genesis also has money on FTX. As FTX was falling apart, Genesis tweeted on November 8th they had no exposure and that was fine. But 2 days later, they admitted they had 175 million in locked funds on FTX and that they were not fine. But anyway, but yeah, they're going through it right now. They're taking some big hits. It's interesting because it's connected to the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust and stuff.
Yeah, from what we've heard, at least so far, they wouldn't be Grayscale wouldn't necessarily be impacted by their liquidation, but it's left to
Yeah,
be seen.
yeah.
Left to be seen how that would do, because the Grayscale Trust
It's a
Bitcoin was
potential
trading.
bigger domino or something.
Yeah, the Grayscale Trust Bitcoin at one point when this news was coming out was trading, um,
Like deep discount, like 40
yeah,
something.
50% at some
Oh,
point.
got that. Crazy.
It got that bad. At one point, it
Uh,
was trading at 50% discount compared
maybe
to
that's
regular
how.
Bitcoin.
Oh, that's just total. Never mind. I'm not even gonna say it. That's just tin hat stuff. Maybe they're manipulating that down so they can all buy in there and then flip it on its head. And they got it in a 50% discount. And it's a sorry. Yeah, I won't keep going. Let's see. There's some more contagion. I don't know. Tom Brady, Steph Curry, the Golden State Warriors, another high-profile celebrity sued for endorsing FTX.
Yeah, which is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's big names getting sued already. Texas launched an investigation into Tom Brady and Steph Curry over the promotion. Texas, they're pissed always.
They're not happy.
Temasek to write down the entire 275 billion FTX investment to zero. Let's see. Bankrupt hedge fund Three Arrows Capital founder Suzu says the FTX collapse will set crypto back for years. And then yeah, I'll skip the last one there. Yeah, so that's it for the contagion. But yeah, still being felt. I don't think it's quite done yet.
No,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
there'll be a bit more
there's
yet.
yeah. I think once we get the finality of what's gonna happen with Genesis and Grayscale, that'll probably kind of tell you what's gonna happen, where the market's going. Maybe they manage to somehow fill the gap. Maybe something else happens, but that's definitely the deal, the issue to be watching.
You guys want to talk about this Twitter, kind of the Twitter news, or go
Oh
right into?
God, Twitter news has been nuts. They've been
All right,
having
I'll do.
Twitter's been having a meltdown.
So this was an interesting story. They on 11/17 they temporarily closed office buildings and suspend employee access in their Brussels office, sparking fears about whether the platform will abide by Europe's new rules on policing content online. So on Thursday, oh, wait, let's see. Financial Times reported on Thursday that Twitter's European digital policy chiefs, Dario Lanasa and Julia Moser, left the social media company last week. And they were in charge of implementing the rules of how the platform should keep users safe online. So, and then a bunch of people
I mean,
resigned.
what do people expect? I mean, the guy raises 44 billion to buy this company, and they expect him not to make any changes. You know, like it was going to happen. Of course, he's going to come in and like have a massive like rip out of everything that's not working, and
It feels like
turn it
he's
on its
wrestling
head.
for control a little bit.
Oh yeah, but he's got the control, and yeah, it'll work eventually. Like,
And he was like he opposed a lot of what was going on in Twitter too. So he's very big on free speech and all of that. So I
exactly.
wouldn't
I
be
do like.
surprised if he um if that kind of contributes to how he's going about things. Like this doesn't surprise me. It just depends on how far he chooses to take the platform, kind of thing.
Yeah, we just need it to be profitable and make money. So, and like you're saying, have free speech and what kind of what it was intended for.
Well, the moves he's been making has been ruffling feathers, and there's been some talk of him getting removed from what was it, Google Play or Apple Play stores. And there was a tweet or an
Oh
update
yeah,
that he would create his own phone, his own
Yeah,
yeah.
his
Somebody
phone if he did
somebody
that.
tweeted him, didn't they, saying, "If this happens, are you gonna make your own phone?" He was like, "If that's what has to be done, then that's what has to
Yeah,
be
it's
done."
kinda like
Which
it's
for fair
believable.
play.
It's like, hey, he could probably do it,
He could actually pull it off as well. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But then it's just becoming some kind of like James Bond villain, isn't he? Like where he's got
Yeah.
control over everything.
It's-
Like you trust your life due to one man, so yeah, he might
yeah.
as well just marry him. He's married to us all, and screw it.
Well, that's a fair point, actually. Let's see. Bunch of Twitter employees resigned on 11/18, like 1,200, due to extremely hardcore work environment, I guess. And maybe some of this other stuff, political. I don't know. Let's see. Kathy Griffin, Jordan Peterson, and the Babylon Bee, a Christian satire website that was banned for hateful content. They've all been reinstated. That was, I think, before Donald Trump. Twitter user vote in favor of unsuspending accounts that have not violated any laws to be reinstated. It voted in favor of unsuspending accounts that have not violated any laws. He put a poll out. Yeah, that's all the Twitter stuff. But yeah, I thought there was some interesting stuff in there.
it's interesting and weird. It's just like there's gonna be some fallout, and I mean it's to be expected. I'm interested to see if he actually goes forward with some of the implementing like cryptocurrency into it. Um,
Oh
Right.
no, he will do. That'll be happening, yeah, for sure.
I feel like it is. It's just it
Just
depends.
watching how he does it.
Yeah,
More.
watching how he does it and how
Yeah.
public he is about how he does it. That's what's interesting to me. I'm very curious on how he goes about it. Does he actually use Dogecoin? Like, does Dogecoin become
This is the
the
maddest bit, yeah. Like the whole Dogecoin thing, like it's like I don't get it. I don't get why he's so like behind it. Like it's crazy.
I don't
But
understand it either,
he's
and
the
which
champion
is
for it, so
literally he tweets a picture of like a Doge, like,
his dog, yeah.
and Doge pumps like 20%. So I'm
That's
kind
crazy.
of interested to see if he actually goes forward with implementing Doge, or if he was just talking about implementing Doge like as a way to almost like pump bags. I don't know.
Maybe he'll just do that
Well, yeah.
first and implement more. It'd be hard to just only do Doge. But I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, maybe it's just purely a way for him to let off steam. Like he's that busy, like with Tesla and sort of sending people to Mars, like doing these big picture things that he's like, what, I'll just have a bit of fun on the internet, like with this dog coin thing, like you just on Twitter, like it's instead of him playing on Xbox or going out for a few drinks with his mates, like this is what he does to blow off steam. He buys Twitter,
Honestly,
implements Dogecoin. This could be how he unwinds.
it isn't the most far fetched thing I've heard. Like I will by no means say that it is fact, but
No.
Like,
Your speculation.
respectfully, like, I also think that it isn't so totally far-fetched.
Well, that's enough about Elon Musk. Let's get into some other
Yeah,
stuff.
let's get on.
Right, kind of in the regulation nation state section, the first one. MasterCard, Wells Fargo, Citigroup, U.S. banks, and others launch a 12-week experimental digital dollar pilot with the New York Fed. The banking giants will be issuing tokens and settling transaction through simulated central bank reserves as part of the pilot. The proof of concept project will test the technical feasibility, legal viability, and business applicability. Sorry, that was really boring to even listen to it say, of a distributed ledger technology, as well as simulate tokens and explore regulatory framework. But they're testing it out between
Yeah,
big
they're,
banks.
they're one of many that have, like many countries and or states that are starting to test this out. Um, it's it's not really like a full like it's basically using blockchain technology to can do transfers and stuff, and using having potentially their own stablecoin. Although USDC has been cited as being part of that of these testing protocols. So
Hmm.
it's not fully fully not using existing coins and just but it'll be interesting to kind of see what that really looks like. I don't. It could be a good way to get like very open banks so that you know exactly what banks are doing when they're doing it. But it's there's a whole bunch of ramifications on exactly how they're doing it, because it could essentially be like a centralized exchange if you think of it.
It's really what it sounds like. Yeah, it's like they're making their own centralized exchange, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But
potentially
there'll
their
be
own
some
stable coin.
integration with the existing crypto market, most likely, right?
Yeah, because if you think of it, like there's probably legal and privacy issues with them declaring like what me and you do within the bank, like moving between our accounts and whatever. So they probably can't do that. Um, so which means it's gonna have to be some kind of there's gonna have to be an internal ledger and an external ledger. And that's kind of interesting to think about.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
they'll be able to incentivize their network if they ever build it because they can distribute, social, you know, give outs from the government, the help that's given through these coins.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. That's for sure.
Anyway, let's see. UK inflation reaches 11.1. You feeling that, Adamus? The highest since
Yeah.
19.
Don't remind me.
Sorry.
Thanks. Yeah.
Eurozone inflation was 10.6, lower than expectations. So maybe some relief coming. Hopefully they're leading the charge for you.
Eventually.
That's still pretty high. Wow.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. Anonymous blockchain, Monero, ZEC, I think that's Zcash, and Dash may be banned in Europe. I don't like it. The Bank of England,
Yeah.
yeah, those I never liked, me personally, investing in
The
the coin
anonymous
provider.
blockchains.
Yeah, they go out of their way
Mm.
to hide.
I mean, that's the whole thing that people always say. This is the first thing, someone new who's against sort of Bitcoin, for instance. It's the first thing you say, going like, "Oh, it's all for money laundering, isn't it? And buying drugs and guns." And it's like, no, the whole point is you can verify everything and you know where everything's gone. And so yeah, so that's probably why the
These
Eurozone's,
ones that emphasize anonymity, it
yeah,
seems like you could see that they were just going to face more scrutiny and have a tougher road.
yeah, exactly. They
Even if
ain't
they
gonna do
do
that.
eventually get adopted, it'll still be a much
Yeah,
tougher road to hoe.
exactly.
Let's see. Bank of England deputy governor says the UK might need a digital pound following the FTX collapse. So that's a little bit of, I guess, contagion.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned this a few weeks ago when we got the latest prime minister for this month. Like he's well behind it all, so that'll be a matter of time. That'll be in the next couple of months, definitely.
And
Hmm.
I mean, it follows like it follows the whole move of like we want like of better stable coins. So
Yeah, I'm all behind it. To be fair, like if it, yeah, better stable coins, it's cool.
and if there's an easier way to on ramp and off ramp through these
It's beautiful.
stable coins, then to a certain extent, like I'm not gonna say I don't oppose, but like I don't. I'm less concerned than some other people are about.
The thing is, it'll help for adoption. That's a massive thing, and it
Absolutely,
doesn't mean that you have to do it like, at all. It just helps other people get on it. It just helps adoption, helps the whole space grow. I don't really see that many negatives with it. So
Well, like it or not, it's coming, and the
it's going to
possibility
happen anyway.
play
Yeah.
out in real
So
time. And just
yeah,
to
get on
emphasize,
board.
Japan is launching a digital yen CBDC pilot next year. They announced that.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. This one was the Tornado Cash update. The judge ordered developer Alex Perstev to remain in jail, so he's stuck in jail still. A lot of nervous devs out there because of that situation. They don't want to dox.
yeah, yeah. There's like even if they aren't creating anything that's um, quote unquote
Dodgy.
dodgy,
I'll say it.
a lot of I know a lot of people that are very very nervous about that, and even if they aren't necessarily
Creating open
devs,
source,
but
they're
they're
creating open source code, and then it's like, oh, we get screwed for that.
exactly. There's I know um, I know even more people that are kind of even if they're just involved in a project, like a project member, like one of us, not necessarily the code or the dev themselves that are nervous about that throughout the space. So it's definitely kind of it'll determine a little bit of the fate of anonymity and how projects, especially in DeFi,
Yeah,
are
it's
going
a
to be
debate that has not been settled 100%.
are going to be handled in the future. Like that's definitely going to be a major question. How this all goes down will be pretty
Yeah,
serious.
either
Yeah.
through regulation or what the market demands from it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just sets a precedent, doesn't it? Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. The authorities of New York have introduced a 2-year ban on the mining of proof of work cryptocurrencies. That's kind of interesting. I didn't read too much into that one though.
Mm.
Vladimir Putin proposed to create a new system of international payments based on blockchains, independent of banks and interference from other countries. Seems like he's always searching for ways to get around
Around all the
all the
issues, absolutely.
restrictions the West puts on him. Yeah.
I mean, he was accepting Bitcoin to pay for um, oil payments earlier this year um, when the Ukraine war started, when he started invading Ukraine. That was one of the first things, or not one of
Yeah.
the first things, but was one of the things that he implemented early on. Iran's also been taking Bitcoin or cryptocurrency payments in exchange for their oil. For
They also have like the BRICS, right? Like it's China, India, and
Arg-
Russia.
Russia, India, and then it's Argentina, or I forget. It's one of the. There's a South American country involved as well.
They're trying to create their own currency. I mean, they're always trying to do something currency wise, it seems like. They're motivated anyway to find solutions or get around.
Mm.
Let's see. This is from a Belgian regulator, said that Bitcoin and Ethereum do not have an issuer and do not meet the characteristic of securities. Therefore, they should not follow financial rules. So it's kind of putting Ethereum with Bitcoin in the regulation fight a little bit, giving some hope maybe that in America they'll follow suit. That's kind of what I got out of the story, but I'm just American, I
Would
guess. I'm
and
biased.
yeah, and wouldn't that help the XRP case
No, not so
to some extent?
much. Not so much because
Just
XRP
Ethereum,
has an issuer. Um, you could argue Ripple is the issuer of XRP.
Right, of course.
So
but it would affect the debate if they allow. It's like, okay, you have Bitcoin, and then okay, well, if you allow Ethereum, then it creates some kind of use case where maybe others could be allowed as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
On
other
that
ones, yeah.
on that smart contract spectrum of protocols and stuff like that.
There definitely is some good possibilities if people start saying ETH is not a security. So
Yeah, that'd be very interesting news. That'd be big news anyway if that happened. If the United States were to follow suit. All right, you guys want to get into the bullish news? Keep this thing rolling along.
Should we do the bearish news first? I like
All right.
bad news first, and then I like to end on a high.
All right, fair. I mean, we've done a lot of it. FTX is a big part of the bearish news. So this is bearish news beyond
Yeah,
that.
FTX, FTX, FTX. There you go. We've done it.
Federal Appeals Court blocks President's Biden's plan to cancel student debt nationwide. So another setback for your easy money over there, Ozzy, you were hoping for. Sorry, just kidding.
I don't have. I'm not American. I don't have student debt from you guys. So, but it would have been a pretty good boost in people's incomes overall if they didn't have to worry about their student debt, which could help blockchain. But
For
Yeah.
sure.
Disposable cash helps the whole industry.
It
Yeah.
doesn't look likely. It just doesn't look likely. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. And they're still fighting it. Binance temporarily suspends USDT and USDC deposits on the Solana chain. That was on 11/17.
yeah, that was during the whole Solano FUD. Solano is going down
Right.
situation.
Yeah, it didn't die, did it?
No.
Yeah, it took a big hit, but yeah, still. Let's see. DeFi project Flare on the BNB chain was hacked for 17.9 million. Look on Chain claims that Gate Exchange covered up $230 million theft in 2018 and now has only 475 million in assets. They've been lying all along. But anyway, it's just nasty little stories out there. All right, that's it. Let's get into the bullish. All right. El Salvador president says this was on 11/16. They are buying 1 Bitcoin every day starting tomorrow. I don't know for how long. I didn't look into that story.
I don't think he actually specified how long.
Oh,
From
he did not?
all of the I looked from all of the stories that I saw, there wasn't he didn't necessarily for how long.
Hmm.
Imagine if it was just one day.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. But it's
I
good
mean, they've got to
news.
sort of DCA the cost down, haven't they? Average the cost down, haven't they?
Yeah, I
From when
mean
they bought at the peak of the bull run.
I mean, that guy's
So,
all in, right? He can't back out now. He's got it.
I mean, well, exactly, yeah. He's in, well, as we say over here, in for a penny, in for a pound. So
Yeah, I mean, that
he's
guy.
he's in for a big, you know. So
His career depends on it. The
I'm
country,
surprised people aren't
country,
kicking off
near
about it
future
over there.
depends on it.
but
I'm surprised it's not like because there was a few riots and stuff originally, wasn't there, when they first decided to go for it. But I've not heard anything whether it's people kicking off and saying, "Like, look, you've lost us as a government loads of money and stuff." So I don't
No,
know.
yeah, but
maybe I've heard
inflation
that.
might
These
have
were
just
right.
hurt their dollar as well. So that's kind of like I think it's for them it's a double-edged sword. Um,
Yeah,
their dollar was losing value and inflation was rampant,
yeah, it was
and
crazy
then
anyway. So yeah.
Bitcoin's dropping in value as well. So it might have not
So
really
what I
made a
mean is like
difference.
they've adopted it well, is what I mean. That you know that they're not kicking off about it. So that's a quite a positive thing, isn't it? Now.
I've got a guy. His name's Jarrett. He does a show with one of the other news shows and one of the other podcasts that I do, and he works quite a bit in South America. So I'll ask if he knows anything, and maybe invite him to come join us and do a little specialty piece on
Yeah, sort of talk about our man on the ground. Sort of see what people on the street are saying about it. That'd be cool.
Yeah, exactly. I'll reach out see if he'd be game to do this. He's not a big Discord guy, but I'm sure I could coax him into to an episode to just
Could be our
talk about
first
it.
Twitter space. We'll do it over there.
Yeah,
maybe.
we could do that.
All right, cool. Let's see. There's some Trust Wallet launches browser extension for desktop that supports Ethereum, um, BS Binance Chain, and other EVM blockchains. And also, Binance Pay has officially integrated with Trust Wallet. But yeah, they seem to be getting. It's like a fairly new wallet, or they're just getting a ton of press right now. But I'm hearing a lot about Trust Wallet lately. It's like an option to MetaMask. Have you guys used it at
Yeah,
all?
they've always been good, haven't they? They've always been around for forever now as well, haven't they? So
Mm.
yeah, this is it. People keep building and just quietly do stuff in the background. They're usually the better companies. And again, like Binance, well, saying that they're quite vocal now, but they're not shouting it from the rooftops really. But they're just cracking on, just do the job.
And I thought this was kind of an interesting adoption story. You can now refuel a gas tank in Bahrain with Binance Pay. So that's getting gas. That's good.
Cool. That's it. I'm moving.
Cleaning
I'm
that
going
up.
there.
Circle USDC adds support for Apple Pay. Apple Pay is now available on Circle for USDC settlement.
That's
Cool.
that's interesting.
This one was kind of fun. Nike will introduce its own Web3 platform. Nike's .swoosh platform will officially announce on November 14th and will drop in January with a digital collection. People can register today, and access begins through an access code. So you can go maybe sign up for one of these. The first digital collection will drop in January. So it's kind of like a wait list or some type of, sign up going on live right now. The company announced the launch of Swoosh.com, a platform for Nike's customers to learn about Web3, collect virtual products like sneakers or jerseys, and eventually help to co-create them. It was just an interesting story. Nike aims to create an on-ramp into the space where it sees an opportunity to build a community for kind of newbies. That's kind of how they're describing it.
Cool.
To like explore the space, Web3. Let's see, 11/21. JP Morgan officially registers a cryptocurrency wallet trademark. And I thought that story was interesting just because of the rhetoric versus reality. Because Jamie Dimon, he talks poorly of Bitcoin. He's a little bit nicer about
Other
the more.
currencies,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
Yeah, but
that's it. They're not daft. They
they're
know it's gonna.
building.
It's the,
Yeah,
yeah, it's the future. So
right. They're
if
part.
they've got to get behind it, haven't they? Yeah.
Sony also, wait, let's see. Sony has filed for a patent for technology that tracks digital assets in games.
Yes.
I'll see that coming a little bit. This was a good one, but it's kind of old news. But anyway, it's just good, fun, bullish news. Google invested 1.56 billion in blockchain companies between September 2021 and June 2022. 40 companies. Oh, let's see. This is from a report that tracked 40 companies tracked by block data between September and June that invested $6 billion in this total of 61 blockchain and cryptocurrency startups. First place was Google at 1.5 billion. And they invested in just 4 blockchain companies: Fireblocks, Dapper Labs, Voltage, and Digital Currency Group.
Mm.
Dapper Labs has been someone that's been talked about a lot.
Apparently, they got a lot of money.
I
Yeah.
also know someone who knows some of the people who worked in the same co-working space as Dapper Labs for a while. So you guys are just giving me ideas for guests to have on the show. That's another one that I can think of off the top of
Well,
my
this is
head.
an interesting report, and it goes on. Other major investors included firms BlackRock and Morgan Stanley, who invested more than 2 billion combined, as well as South Korean electronics behemoth Samsung, who invested nearly 1 billion across 13 different blockchain protocols companies. Yeah, it's interesting. Banks have started to increase their exposure to crypto and blockchain services given increased client demand. And they're making investments into crypto custody, asset management, trading, all this. It's not just VCs pouring money into the blockchain tech. The usual public suspects are public companies are betting billions too. So yeah, that's it for the bearish or the bullish news. There's some chain news and then little DeFi news and rumors. We're getting up on an hour anyway. Little XRP update. Federal judge grants Coinbase request to file an application to support Ripple in the SEC case. So Coinbase getting behind them. Let's see. Binance. This is kind of a cool story. Cristiano Ronaldo partners with Binance to launch his first NFT collection.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, now he's left Man United. He needs to get some money in.
Well, I think they're giving away like one. I don't know, you can buy them or you can sign up for like a giveaway, or if you're like the first 1.5 million new people that register somewhere on Binance. I don't know exactly. I don't think I can in the US or something, but you can
no,
get
it
one of
was
these.
only international, and when it dropped, it did boost the price of BNB a little bit.
Yeah.
That was quite interesting. Um,
Well, yeah, there's an opportunity out there for Cristiano Ronaldo NFT with the World Cup going. I thought that was a cool story.
I know Messi
Um,
was looking at an NFT as well because he's partnered with BitGet, which is another centralized exchange, not decentralized exchange, centralized exchange. So
This is another cool story from Binance. Sorry, just keep moving on here. But Binance launched a cloud mining service. Users will be able to purchase computing power and start mining BTC. Kind of
that's
like this.
very interesting.
Yeah, that sounds really cool, actually. I'm interested in finding mining opportunities. It's really hard though. It seems like a very competitive space. So
It's way too competitive. Like if
to like know how to invest in it. I don't,
well, like with Universal, like uh, when I think about Universal in going forward, I mean, we've got our trading bot, which we've talked about on the show before, and in recent conversations, we've talked about expanding to validator nodes. But mining is kind of like the one avenue that I'd be very scared to dabble into, just because difficulty is going up. Um,
right, to physically do the mining. But if there was like a platform that was large like Binance, and yeah, you could, tap into just the actual the mining of Bitcoin. It'd be it's intriguing to me just because of the real, the use case for I mean, there'll always be a need for miners as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Solana news. Tether transfers 1 billion USDT from Solana blockchain to the Ethereum network. After this, only 900 million USDT will remain on Solana. So a lot of USDT moved off Solana. I don't know, that
yeah,
was
well,
interesting.
Solana was as a entire like chain was facing so much FUD heading
Yeah, I guess that's
into
part of it.
last week. So
Uh,
I'm curious to see, like, with during the FTX drama, there was also Solana drama, and Solana has not been recovering well because a bunch of unstaking and all of that. So it's interesting. I don't know I don't know where Solana's going.
yeah, I've never been too involved with Solana, so I haven't. I don't know, besides opportunity because of big drops, I haven't seen much reason to dabble for me personally.
There was
This
some
was
there was
oh,
some
go ahead.
big crypto gaming at the peak of the bull run. There was some big crypto gaming stuff there, or at least what seemed like big crypto gaming stuff that was getting ready to launch on Solana, just because of gas fees and all of that.
Right.
But a lot of that kind of gaming hype has moved towards Polygon, especially, and if we wanna talk real DeFi, although they haven't attracted games, at least they haven't announced any attracted games. We could talk about Goss, and the Goss blockchain as being one that's targeting specifically gaming.
Oh, go into it as much as you want. Yeah, it's news to me.
No, I don't want to go too much into it because, um,
Should we do that for next week then? We'll
yeah,
do a bit on the
Yeah,
gaming
okay.
side of it. Yeah.
because I
Yeah,
think Goss is a very interesting. Like they're basically trying to create basically like one blockchain, but have games being able to operate on like their own individual subchain, not subchain, but like their own chain within the chain, so that they don't. If one game's very popular, it doesn't affect the gas fees of the entire chain and stuff. So,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah, I don't know much about Goss, but their opinion of, my my friends in the space, I would say, seems to be very positive. So,
Yeah. They're
well,
making waves.
absolutely. So
this
that
is a fun little story just to move on from it. We'll talk about it maybe next week. Fan token of the Argentina national team collapsed amid the victory of Saudi Arabia national team. Do you guys see a big upset? You guys following the World Cup at all? Affected
Yeah,
crypto.
yeah. It's funny that. It's mental.
that was I heard about it. I'm not a big
Like biggest upset in
soccer.
World Cup history, kind of a thing. Saudi Arabia, they won 2-1 after going down 1-0.
Yeah, nobody saw it coming either. That was the thing.
Yeah, it was the coin was at 8, crashed down to 4. It's now at like $5 now. But anyway, it's an interesting little story.
Yeah.
MetaMask and Uniswap kind of had some interesting. MetaMask now collects user IP and wallet address if you use RPC from the Infura provider, which is on by default. And Uniswap new private policy states that the company will collect on-chain and off-chain data about user wallets. Maybe getting ready for regulation, kind of announcing what
Oh,
was
yeah.
already available to them.
Yeah.
That
It's gonna
yeah.
happen in it.
I mean, it's only on one of the RPCs, so like you can work around that, like as a
For
user. But
now.
I do know a lot of people are now switching towards Trust or Rabby is the other one, to avoid that, to avoid these kind of issues with MetaMask. Um, so
That's the
we'll
first
see
of
what
it.
happens.
This was another interesting story. Surtech experts uncovered the black market for KYC checks. The blockchain security company Surtech has discovered a new scam strategy employed by cryptocurrency fraudsters. Let's see, what does it do? The blockchain security company found that cryptocurrency scammers could access a cheap and easy black market of people willing to put their name and face on fictitious projects, all for as low as $8. They're known as professional KYC actors.
Crazy.
Oh god, that's kind of nuts
I
to
mean,
think
this
about.
this stuff. Yeah. I mean, this stuff happens in the real world anyway, so of course it's gonna be happening on here.
They
Like,
discovered
Yeah.
20 underground marketplaces, KYC
yeah,
actors hired for as little as $8. And they're referred to as gigs.
gigs.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was super interesting. Let's see. Nason Analysis compiled an updated rating of the largest crypto exchanges in the world in terms of liquid assets. This was an interesting little list. So let's see. Binance, they listed 7, the top 7. Binance is the largest, widely regarded as the largest by transaction volume, holds around 64.3 billion.
Hmm.
Assets across Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tron, and Binance Chain. Eclipses the other ones by a substantial amount. Bitfinex, second largest asset holding 8.23 billion. So from 64 to 8.23 to number 2. And they hold across Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon, Tron, Solana, Akala, Avalanche, blah, 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 lots. Huobi? I don't know how you pronounce that one.
Hubio.
H. How
Hubio.
do you say
Hubio.
it?
Hubie.
Hubio?
Yeah, Hubio.
Huobi. They're at 3.3 billion. OKX 5.84. Crypto.com 2.36. KuCoin 2.65. And Deribit at 1.46 billion. Those are the top ones.
I thought crypto.com would be a lot higher, you know. especially with the amount of
you got
marketing.
one right now.
Yeah.
But an interesting list all the same. Let's see. And then the only other thing I have was kind of a Horde update. So a lot of people in Horde, so you can, their migration is open right now till December 16th. And you can claim all your tokens and decide what you want to do with it, basically. And it's either like get paid out or reinvest in the company is really what it comes down to. And it's like $2.50 per token. Like they'll pay you out every token you would have got it in the time, in the 300 days or whatever. And then they'll pay you $2.40.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that means their liquidity is really low. They really have no liquidity. If they can only pay out their token was supposed to be valued at 100 and some odd dollars, but
Yeah, when now 240 is what they offer is, or you can reinvest. They're going to do a DEX, go on with their play to earn game. They have a Medium article you read about it. So basically the new vision for the protocol. You can lock in a vault. You can take your tokens and lock them in a vault, basically, and get involved with that. If you buy NFT scenes, you're going to get an airdrop for like their new DEX token. I don't know if anyone did that. And then from what I read about it, if you bought one of the Z NFTs or trading by NFTs, it's like a separate ecosystem. But something's got to change because part of the money was going to pay for the LMS system, which doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly. Something's got to change, but it seems to be kind of a separate system if you got those.
ideally, hopefully that's the case, and you're not being the liquidity is being hurt on that on the trading bot for that. So it's
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I mean, I do have tokens. Like
There's going to be a mass exodus, isn't there? Really, I can imagine with that. Anytime someone's done something similar, it's. I mean, it's good that the project's offering that kind of service, but well, I've never seen it.
at least they're giving an offer. It's
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's good that
like
they're doing it, but I've never
it's like
seen a
stand up.
project come back from it. So
Yeah, it's kind of like a
when
stand
they've
up
done
move.
that, yeah, it's good on them. Good, well played to the guys behind it all. But and if it was me, well, yeah, everyone's gonna walk, so I would walk, rather than staying in
I mean, you
personally.
can
That's my
you can walk and just be done with it and not have to
yeah,
worry about
yeah, and
anything.
I think it'd be sort of 9 out of 10 people would.
It'd be
Yeah,
interesting to
but
see.
again,
Or
that's life.
you could go half, but then you're in the vault and you're following it. And
Yeah,
yeah. Do you want to just wipe your hands clean and walk away?
exactly. It just depends, whether
Yeah, where people are
how
at
you manage your own risk. Yeah, exactly.
and how ROI you are will affect your
Mm.
decision. Like if you still are hoping to ROI, you might want to, and the 240 is not going to do it for you. You might want to reinvest.
Exactly. And I suppose there will be a large sum of people as well who have
If not ROI.
invested ROI or whatever, or people who aren't even going to keep up to date with the news. They've got that fed up with everything that's gone on recently with FTX and everything before that, and they just don't bother checking
take your
scores or
exit.
anything anymore. So
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
yeah, we'll see. We'll keep on up to date with that one.
yeah, that's one always to watch.
Yeah, we'll keep watch.
Well, is there anything you guys want to add before we close it up and say goodnight?
No, I
No,
don't
I'm
have
good.
anything else to say.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for the Universal News. We'll be back
Having
again next week, hopefully with some new exciting guests as possible. I'm not going to say anything yet, nothing confirmed, but yeah, we'll see you all next week. Thanks for joining us.